Meanwhile, down in Georgia, Fulton County DA Fani Willis can move forward and prosecute former President Trump after Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade quit in response to an ultimatum from the judge who heard both sides of the story.
Well, now Trump's defense team is sharing their next steps, saying, quote, "Our first legal option is to ask the court to permit a pretrial appeal of his disqualification order."
At the very least, delay a game. Our next guest is leading the Senate Special Committee investigations probe into Willis's misconduct allegations.
Georgia State Senator Bill Cowsert joins us now. Bill and Senator, thanks so much for joining the program. I want to bring you to good morning. What the judge said. He says that there's still an odor of mendacity as it relates to what's going on there. What do you see?
I think that sums it up. I mean, the judge in several places in the order pointed out the misconduct of the prosecution, the unprofessional behavior, and there he was referencing the testimony of Mr. Wade and Ms. Willis. Mendacity, of course, is untruthfulness. You're not in a good position when your trial judge trying the case has just called you out for being dishonest with the court.
Never good.
That shows his concerns, and he tried to urge her to withdraw from the case totally and take the entire DA's office out, but gave her that sort of lifeline if she wouldn't remove herself to have Mr. Wade removed from the case, and he did that.
Senator, I was reading this morning that Willis is subject of an ongoing investigation. We knew this in the state Senate and with House Republicans. And there's a new state commission with extensive powers over prosecutors like this who could also take action against her. What happens next when it comes to the Senate, when it comes to the House Republicans and this commission?
The judge laid out that he was sort of handcuffed by the lack of very specific Georgia law to remove her. So he called on the General Assembly to enact any laws necessary to put the proper guardrails around prosecutorial misconduct. That's something that our committee will be looking into as we delve into the facts and then what laws can be changed. That prosecutorial oversight commission you're talking about can receive complaints of malfeasance in office by DAs and can take action to either remove them from office if necessary or other punishment.
Right, but Bill, if you guys decide to change the law, it would ultimately not apply to this case.
Exactly, only in the future. So we would try to restore public confidence in the integrity of our judicial system by changing the laws to make it clear what conduct is permitted and not. The judge here said her conduct was the appearance of impropriety, but not a direct conflict of interest. And what he's basically saying is, this may not be illegal, but it ought to be. And that's going to be our job to pass laws to make it very clear we're not going to tolerate this behavior in Georgia in the future.
So the question is, as they move forward, if she moves forward on the case, what kind of credibility does the prosecution have right now? The people of Georgia right now, in almost every poll, Trump is up 4 or 5 points. So anybody who thinks that Trump is sullied and damaged goods, they haven't told the people of Georgia.
Her credibility is shot. I mean, this just, she loves the publicity, obviously seeking some type of higher office, has sought the publicity, and it's sort of kind of bitter on this case. It's now negative publicity. She has no credibility left with the courts or with potential jurors. Seems to me it will hurt her ability to obtain a conviction. If that's her true mission, then she needs to step aside and have somebody new with expertise in this subject matter come forward to handle the prosecution going forward.
Well, let's see what happens going forward. Senator, thank you very much for getting up so early on this Monday.
Yeah, I'm proud of you guys. Are all up and early, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It's a little early in the morning for me, but it's always fun to be with y'all.
Yeah, we all have 2 alarms, and we all have butlers to make sure we don't oversleep.
Yeah, thanks, not quite that fortunate in the Georgia Senate, but it's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.